Alright, so we are back on the lathe again today because I broke my little starter button from my first gen, and this larger diameter breaks off after 40 years, I guess. And I had bought a cheap one off eBay and it broke real quick. So I decided I'm not buying any more of these things. I'm just going to make one myself. And so I took the horn button off, and so you can see that one's still good, and so used it as a pattern. So, drew me out a drawing. There's our little drawing. And so what we're going to use is some handles off these cheap screwdrivers that I picked up at the cheapo store, because it's pretty good plastic on them. And I'm going to make me some. So with that pack, it only costs like $3, I think. I can make 12 of them. So no sense in paying a high price for them when you just make them ourselves. And then for the little button on the inside, I'm just going to use a piece of brass. That's an old brass bolt that I got laying around, and we'll make up the little contact in the middle. So let's get set up over here on the lathe. And now that I got my DROs installed on the lathe, this is going to be pretty easy. All I got to do is just come in. I can probably, for the most part, use a parting tool once I get the size down, and just cut in and then part off. So let's get set up over here on the lathe and see about cutting one of these. Alright, so the first thing we got to do is take our little screwdriver and get some way to grip it up in the head. So I'm just going to set it up by its little metal end, and then I'll take that diameter down a little bit so I'll have something to grab a hold of it. So let me get that up in there, and let's just switch out for our other tool, and we're just going to come across there and clean that up. Alright, so I'll spin it, make sure it clears. Looks good, and I think we can get two of them out of this. Alright, so that gives us enough flat we can get a grip on it. So let's now move it up into the chuck, and we'll be able to hit one of those surfaces right there. Let's get about right there. Now we got a good bite on it. Alright, let's go in there and square it up one more time now we've got a grip on it. Alright, so now we got it relatively round, we can switch over to the parting tool and actually make the button. Let's switch back out to the parting tool. And what I'm going to do is come in here and find my zero. Right there, zero on the Z. So zero right there. And then I just want to come in, take a little cut with the parting tool. And establish the diameter for my DRO. So this is where the DRO comes in really handy, because what I can do is come in here and measure this. 475. So all we do is go in here on our x-axis and tell it 0.475, and now we're set up. So we can just come in here and clean that off a little bit. Parting tool cut sideways on nylon, so that's not too bad. Alright, so let's get our drawing and see what we got to do to the dimension. So the outside of it is going to be 429, so let's go on down to 429 and just cut that whole size. go. So that's our largest diameter. So now we got a little rod. Alright, so what we want to do is come in here and cut our small part of our button. So that is reading 346. So let's come in here at 346 and we're going to go 303 in. And there is the shape of the button. So that's all we had to do. Now we just need to deburr it a little bit and we'll part it off. And this is good stretchy plastic, so it's pretty strong. And now we got the outside of the button. So while I got this set up, I'll cut the other button, then we'll swap it around and we'll do the little hole on the inside. Alright, so we're done with the screwdriver. That can get thrown away. That's all we wanted it for. Now we just got to come in here and put the hole in the middle. And so I just got me a little collet so I can slip it down in there. I'll slip it in the collet. And chuck it up in the lathe. Right there. Now we're ready to get that bump off there. And then we'll put our hole in the middle. Barely gonna clear a tool right there. Bump out. Now we just got to put the steps in the middle for the contact to fit in. So we got our depth already, and all we got to do is just set up with our indicator, and we'll move this in. So first step, we'll drill the hole in it. Come to the surface, lock it down. Now we just got to drill to 0. And there's our hole. So then we just got to switch out and put the tool in to do the step in for the contact. There we go. So now we just go back to 0. And there we go. Now we got a little button. So as simple as that, you can make this little button on the lathe. So let me set up and do the other one, and then we'll make the contact that goes in the middle. All cleaned up. So now we got 2 buttons, and now we just got to make the little contact in the middle. So I'll just go ahead and make 2. So I'm just going to use these brass little bolts. So let's set the brass bolt up in here, and we can use the parting tool for this one as well. Get this far enough out that I can cut it. There we go. So let's come back in here with the parting tool, and we'll square off that end. Call that our 0 on the Z. 0.238. So let me go ahead and just cut that diameter. I'm going to measure that and verify it before I cut any further. We are at 237.5, so we're all right there. All right, so we got our zero established right there. And so what we want to do is step in, and we're going to cut the diameter on the bottom of 0.157. There we go. There's the front part. Just need to clean that off. That's gonna be the contact end, so it needs to be nice and smooth. Right there. We just want to come in and take that down to 157. And to cut it off, what we want to end up with is the overall length plus the parting tool. And there we go. Now we got a contact. So after that, we end up with a little shiny brass contact. All I gotta do is just sand that little nub off, and then we'll see if it fits. Alright, so now he just fits right down inside the button. And there we go. We got us a clear starter button. And there we go. So now we got our homemade clear button, and then we got the one that was the factory for the horn. So I'm going to make one more, that way I can change out and have both buttons clear. We'll put a little video of the install on the back, and then we'll fire it up and show that it works. So we'll be back here in just a minute. And the homemade starter button turned out nice. That little clear button works just like the original. They made one to match with the horn. So now we're in good shape to start again, and we didn't have to spend the 30-something bucks buying one. Well, alrighty. Well, thanks for watching.